What's happening? It's hot. Putting up some stands, moving stands, ground blinds, that sort of thing. Deer season coming up. It's September 6th. Yeah, September 6th, 2019. Had a good season last year. Killed 6 deer. My boy killed his first deer, so we butchered 7 at the house. That was pretty good year for some deer meat. Still got some left. Just had the last of some back straps the other day. Typically I cook those as I'm butchering or shortly after, but I found some in the freezer from a doe that my boy shot. Anyhow, I am putting up a tree stand, that big oak tree right there, a real tall one. I've got a ladder in it. I've got a little hang-on sitting there, and the last little stick to put up there right behind me. Safety harness is on because safety is no accident. So making this video here, this is a really cool spot where I'm at. Right behind me there's if you see that little spot in the grass right there, there's an opening where some deer oftentimes will come out of that creek, and the creek is probably, it's a little just a drainage creek. It's about 3 foot deep, 4 foot deep in spots, and only about 3 foot to 2 feet wide. It's not very wide, but the deer will walk that, oddly enough. And one day, this is one of my favorite hunting stories, that's why I'm doing this video. Way back here, if you follow that back there, I've got had a ground blind last year. I don't have it up now. It's in the back of the truck. It's going to go up somewhere, probably in a similar area down there, because it produced pretty well last year. And I had this stand over here to my left, down in that area as well, and I saw a lot of deer. No big bucks. Had a 11 pointer on camera last year, multiple times, even after season, so he's still out here. He's a big boy. I think that he is bedded down in this stuff right here. It's just a bottom nasty thick jungle, and I'm putting a stand right on the edge of it because they travel from where I'm right behind me here over to that stand and bed down in there quite often. So I was back to my main story, as I just took a rabbit trail like a madman. It's like a Monday morning, maybe a Tuesday or something, end of October last year. I was walking back to my truck. It was raining, crappy morning, horrible morning for hunting, a lot of people say. So I was sitting in the ground blind, and as I was walking, I was back in there about 60 yards behind me, out in the middle of the grass, wide open, and off to my right, your left, I saw a deer in the creek. And I thought it was a doe, and I thought, well, I'll give it a shot, So I went to ground stalking. I got all the way up to this point here where these trees right behind me, it's kind of a corner, and it goes back in there. So I got out to this point, and I had my bow. I had the arrow knocked. I went ahead and drew back at this point when I got past the edge of these trees. And I go walking up to that little area right there where a lot of the deer kind of natural little trail, and there's a big, pretty steep hillside over here in this area. So I figured that the deer had kind of got up to that point up in there, or follow that creek back in between a little draw back here between a couple hills. And I got to, so we're coming up on that spot right here. I got right about to here, and I stopped, and I took my time. It took quite a while to get to this point. I moved nice and slow, and I just I was looking all over the place. I was looking back here, off to the right, off to my left. Your right, my left. Who's really counting? Long story short, I saw a tail flip right about there, and I had a heart shot right here. Aimed for the heart of this doe that I thought was a doe, and I shot it, drilled it in the heart, reared up, whop, dropped dead. Well, it didn't drop dead, it dropped right here. Took up, run up into the stick brush right over here, and fell down, raised his head up, looked at me, and that was it. Blood all over the place. Horrible. I mean, it was up in the trees, 10 foot. It was phenomenal. And I watched it all. I shot it right through the heart, shooting Grimmy for broadheads, opened right up, I think 2-inch whitetails, the whitetail specials, and smoked it. The deer went from right there to right here. Talk about watch them drop. I watched it. It was awesome. And probably went about 15-20 foot. Then I had to pull it through all these briars. I don't know, I'm gonna watch my step here because there's a about 3-foot drop off right at the edge of this grass. So yeah, all these thorn bushes here, these are all briars and thick, nasty. That's where he laid, about 10 feet in there. And I pulled him up through all that. And that was it.